opportunists, the lot of them. And
You seen any gazetteers around? Need to see if the new edition's out yet. And what if it doesn't work?
we keep going.
Comes to magical protection.
Something you'd say if you had no idea. Look, Mama, look! It's so pretty! Right on my body, so I wouldn't even need an oven.
You make fine points. Very efficient you be.
Looking ahead.
Chicken, beef, and...
Some valuable knowledge hidden between these pages. stayed interesting.
Many things, I suppose. Blood, bile, phlegm, chocolate.
Chocolate?
Why, of course, darling.
The Annals of Karsus. The preamble to a civilization's downfall, committed to parchment by the very hand that wrought its destruction. If the crown atop the Elder Brain was truly forged by Karsus himself, this book will confirm it. All we have to do is turn the page.
Sing a song of Baldur, who founded Baldur's Gate. Empire golden.
That devil Raphael was telling the truth. There's no doubt. The crown of Karsus is what's controlling the Elder Brain. And this is no mere journal. It contains Karsus's original plans for the crown's construction. His designs for godhood.
From nether years arose to conquer all. Now hope is gone, or so it seems. But
Not exactly. It was what he did with it that sealed his fate, and, for a time, that of magic itself. The crown was merely the means. The book states that the crown and netherstones were originally one construct, seemingly sundered at the moment of Karsus's downfall. If we can collect the crown's setting and the 3 netherstones, and with the correct invocation of certain spells and gestures detailed in these notes, I think I could reforge it. To every end you can imagine, and 1,000 more beyond. Just think of it. The power of the gods in mortal hands at last would be free of doctrine and dogma, confined only by the limits of our imaginations. I promise you, the gods will never grant us such a blessing, no matter how much we worship and adore them. I don't know. Ao does not look kindly on gods meddling in mortal affairs. She may have no choice but to stand by and let events unfold. Even with the fate of the world at stake, she had little more to offer me than the means of blowing myself up at a more convenient time. She's done nothing to help us. Mistra wanted the brain obliterated because of this crown. She fears a world in which such power is beyond her control, ready to be claimed by Karsus's successor. Not until this moment. But I can't help beginning to see such a destiny unfold before me. Powerful as he was, Karsus lacks some advantages I can lay claim to. I know Mistra intimately, and I carry a fragment of the weave itself within my body. Karsus achieved many things, but he never managed that. A long road lies ahead before the crown comes into our possession. All I ask for now is that you do not dismiss this possibility out of hand. Please, at least think on it. I see. I suppose I am asking you to take a leap of faith even the most loyal of companions might struggle to land gracefully. Spent so long feeling inferior, shut out from my destiny over such a simple act of youthful enthusiasm. Perhaps I got carried away with the thought this crown could give me back what Mystra took. Cure me, even. You're right. There aren't many wizards who'd care to be mentioned in the same breath as him, or his folly. Whatever comes of this, we cannot allow the crown to be reforged in Raphael's image. A devil wielding the might of Karsus. It would be the end of everything. Elminster?
Oh, hello, my boy. No, don't mind me. I'm just enjoying a lungful of Baldurian air. Yes, a distinctive aroma, though perhaps not one worthy of bottling. I hear you've been browsing in the most esteemed of Emporium's sorcerous sundries. Indulge my curiosity. What wonders did you discover there? So, you have learned the truth of the enemy we face. The very tool with which its eponymous creator unmade magic itself. Perhaps now you understand what is at stake here, my boy. Though what Mr. asked of you was extreme, it was not without merit, nor demanded lightly.
What are you saying? Or rather, what are you not saying?
Mystra knows you defied her, Gale. Ah, of course she knows. She's Mystra. She bids you come to her holy shrine in the Stormshore Tabernacle. There, she will grant you an audience at last. I see remaining optimistic is my duty, especially when I'm not the one being asked to do the seemingly impossible. Trust in yourself. Trust in the weave. If you are willing, trust in Mystra. There is a conclusion yet to be written in this sorry tale, Gale of Waterdeep. And yours is the quill that will write it.
So all it took to get Mystra's attention was to learn how to reforge an artifact that once destroyed her. It's obvious when you stop to think about it. I think Elminster's last message was the one carrying the punishment. Having respectfully declined it, I think she's willing to negotiate. This is a conversation that's long overdue on both sides. I owe it to her to hear her out. Come what may afterwards. Mystra's many things, but she's no censor. Her job is not to judge those who use the weave, but to ensure it is protected. Whatever she has to say, I want to hear it. Only then will we know the truth of what lies ahead.
Goddess or no, it is a fearsome sting to be let down by a lover. And to hear of it from another of her bright birds. It must be difficult for Gale to imagine great Elminster courting, writing poems, doing certain deeds. It is difficult for Minsk to think of too. Let us speak no more of it. Of Elminster and the sex, I mean. Truly? But you have... here we stay, then.
That pointy-headed old fart talks too much. But he has also moved mountains, walked between plains, and dragged himself back from death 12 times. If he still believes in Gale, the boy should not be overly concerned what his ladylove thinks. Goddess or no. You're sure? Later, then. I tell you not to get in trouble, but I suspect it will find you whether you like it or not.
Poor Gale. But Mister is wrong about him. Perhaps he can yet prove that.
Mistra wants to meet Gale. Impressive. The only thing a god's ever offered me is a cold shoulder.
The mother of all magic, they say. Let us hope Mistra brings Gale good fortunes.
I couldn't help overhearing what Elminster said to Gale. Not every day a god asks for a chat.
Hey, maybe I'm invited too. I can be the muscle.
Poor Gale. I hope he knows that a goddess abandoning him needn't be the end. I know from experience.
So, Mistress requested a chat with Gale. Unusually polite for a god. I do hope it goes well. We've pissed off enough gods already. Darling, I thought you'd never ask. Lead on.
What's on your mind?
With pleasure. Lead on.
Don't touch me.
I've got a long road ahead.
Afternoon.
They're guards.
Sure, Gortash didn't need
Only Lord Gortash protects us from the monstrosity of the Absolute. As the Absolute's forces talk ever closer,
Mistress life. It's been some time since I stood before her in a place like this.
There she stands, just as Elminster promised. Mystra, goddess of the weave, mother of all magic.
The old man wasn't lying. She's opened the summoning channel. Can't you feel it?
Gale's right. The very air around the statue crackles with magic. It sets your teeth on edge.
A stream of pure, undiluted weave. I only have to reach out, and it will carry me to Mystra, wherever she may be.
Well, go on then. It's rude to keep a goddess waiting.
Time was, I'd have given my right arm for a chance to speak with Mystra again. The left one, too. Maybe a knee. Not the message one hopes to receive from a past lover. But her first love was always the weave. At best, I was a close second. When I pictured this moment, I thought I'd feel more in control. Yet, here I am, with palms sweatier than a bugbear's armpit. I always wonder what being nervous would feel like. I hate it. During my time locked away in Waterdeep, I prepared a quite comprehensive speech for her on the subject of our former relationship and the manner in which it ended. Alas, recent events have rendered the majority of it moot, so I'm going to have to improvise. Unless you have any words of wisdom to impart before I go. The summoning channel Mystra has provided is one only I can enter. No matter how much I prefer not to face her alone. You'd make a fine three-dragon anti-player, you know? I think it's best I keep a cool head going into this. Approach it like a particularly high-risk round of three-dragon ante. I'll let Mistress show her flight, and then I can see how strong a chance we stand of winning the gambit. I'll only be gone for a matter of moments. The Outer Planes experience time quite differently to our own. Wait for me. Please.
Gale of Waterdeep. You look well.
As do you. But I assume we're not here solely to exchange compliments. So why am I here?
You discovered what lies at the heart of the Absolute, the crown of Karsus. And you disobeyed my instruction. Why?
Because you had no right to ask that of me. You cast me out. Remember?
You were my lover, my chosen. Yet still you know so little of me. The past cannot be undone with self-pity, nor can a future be forged. Only with the truth will you see the way ahead. The fragment of magic you tried to return to me was not of my creation. It was the Karsite Weave. It is a corrupted, half-born magic, wrought in the brief moment Karsus ascended to godhood. It hungers for power, just as he did, and it can never be sated. You unleashed something that would consume all magic in existence, and yet you thought only of preserving yourself.
So that's what you're scared of. With the crown of Karsus reforged, I could take control of the Karsite Weave.
You can no more control the Karsite Weave than a weather vane could control a storm. That it entered your body and consumed no more than your powers was a miracle. But we will not be granted another. The only reason the orb sleeps is because I have allowed it to feed on the true weave. A temporary measure, but one that will not be enough to save us. With each day that passes, the Elder Brain threatens to become a new kind of god. Its worshippers, a scourge of soulless illithids. If you will not use the orb to end this abomination, then you must find a way to separate crown and host. When you've done this, you must surrender the crown of Karsus to me.
A great ask indeed. You've given me much to think on, as you always did.
So be it. Follow the needle of your own wisdom. We shall see how truly it leads you.
Mystra has forsaken Gale entirely. A crushing blow. But he is strong enough to persevere, I think.
So, Gale's hedging his bets with Mystra? I can't say I blame him. Who'd want to hold a power like the crown of Karsus in their hands just to hand it to someone else? I know what my decision would be, but we're all different, of course.
Back on mortal soil once more. I can't believe I saw her. After all this time. Relieved. Drained. Proud of myself for summoning the courage to go to her in the first place, and, if I'm being totally honest, a bit lightheaded. As if it wasn't enough to have seen her again. She didn't exactly summon me there for small talk. The Karsite Weave. Within me this whole time. I knew the orb was no ordinary ball of magic before it to be Karsus's malignant creation. Gods! How did I not see that? True enough. There's a reason such unwitting heroes have been the backbone of lyric and legend for as long as both have existed. Even so, I was hardly some naive apprentice at the time. I considered myself an archmage, and yet was fool enough to be mistaken for a common conjurer. At least now I'm armed with the truth, and Mystra's expectations. It sounds like the door to redemption is open at last. All I have to do is walk through it, carrying the crown of Karsus. I see few other options open to me. If I ever want to reclaim those parts of myself the orb snatched away. If I ever want to be me again. I don't know. It's been so long since I dared to imagine an end to the orb's hunger. But I start thinking about it, hadn't I? Imagine being able to picture one's life ending in something other than a cataclysmic explosion. What a treat. If I could promise you one thing in return for your faith in me, it's this. I will use everything in my power to ensure we defeat this evil. I will not let you down. Now, I believe we've a date with an elder brain to get to. Shall we?
Hello, my dear.
Wow. So that was Mistra. Pretty spectacular stuff. But I think Gale was right not to agree to do her bidding, no questions asked. I respect the gods, but they don't always understand what they're asking of us. Maybe immortality makes it hard to know what it's like to be one of us piggies. Proud of Gale, though. It takes some man to hold his own in front of the divine.
I do not trust Mistra to do right with the crown, but I think I trust Gale even less. He must give it to her when the time comes, or his lust for power might well consume him.
You will grow to like Jahira's incense in time. Like chewing herbs and soap, yes? What is it, my friend?
Far from me to judge Gale for playing coy with Mistra, but I will not be cleaning up whatever mess she makes of him for it.
Mistra has forsaken Gale entirely. A crushing blow. But he is strong enough to persevere, I think.
This crown seems too powerful and dangerous an object for mere mortals to possess. Too dangerous even for Mistra. But I would sooner trust it with a god than with Gale.
Ask what you will. Oathbreaker, what do you need of me? Nobody belongs entirely to their bloodline. Even those fathered by a god. You chose a path, made a pledge, and Baal had no part in it. Yes, And not for the first time. We have met before. I expect we will meet again. Returning to your oath means relinquishing the darkness within you. Its evil must be banished. Your oath-sworn powers will return. You will be bound again by the decrees you promised to uphold. It is possible. First, you must pay the agreed price. Material sacrifice is required to prove your words have substance. Do you wish to pay? The price is paid. Tell me, why do you wish to reclaim your oath? Repairing what was damaged. Atoning for the past. Kneel, Oathbreaker. You swear to deliver righteous retribution, vanquishing your enemies, and aiding those who suffer at their hands. The oath of vengeance is once more yours to fulfill.
All right. What now?
If you stumble, know there is no shame in falling, only release.
Thy wheel of fate dost thou require a new... As thou...
What to do?
Expose us!
Hello. Nice day for a walk.
We know you will drive back the army of the Absolute and raise our city to its pinnacle. We stand with you and for you. Our lives are yours. Our enemies are forfeits. Enemies are forfeits. You shall bring us, true children of the gate, into the light.
Light, bring a Gortash!
Crush our enemies without mercy!
Start by standing on a ladder so they can actually see you. I expect you to admit you're nefarious. You love this sworn to secrecy, aren't you?
Please, just let us know and we'll be out of your way.
You can go once we're done with you.
Oh, I'm not going in there and getting swallowed by a devil. Oh, I get it.
Welcome back, Devil Slayer. What can I do for you?
Right. Whatever comes, I'm ready.
The corpse does not respond.
Intestines throb. Blood whispers.
Are you still here? Or are you but a dream?
What's he got to say for himself?
Lots of talk about the brilliant...
It's so pretty.
I see it's sweetie.
Shh! Confound my auntie. Kitty.
Bless these roots.
Something rotten. Probably just a dead cat.
Not everyone subscribes.
Have you tried the Lanternese candles? Or perhaps the delicate simplicity of a perfectly crafted torch is more to your taste? Oh, heavens no! Not with him. I work for him, as I do for all of my most loyal customers. Fabulously charismatic man, though. Tips well. What are you really asking, friend of Gortash? This one will be very useful against any and all enemies of Gortash. Be sure to be clear of its explosion area. Please enjoy responsibly, and nowhere near this establishment. Is there anything else I can do for you? Oh, see for yourself. Remember, once it's lit, and if it's not a firework,
He's a bit of a genius, isn't he? At sales, not fireworks. Of course, it helps to have the only license in town to sell the stuff.
Any torches, matches, wizards, or other sources of open flame, keep them unlit, please.
It's gonna be okay.
Gonna need to change out this barrel.
Look, either you came to buy things from Tamara, or you really...
Where's an apprentice when you need one?
Back for more of Uncle Felagir's finest, are you? Smoke powder in its earthier forms. For purists only. Don't jostle any of...
Pressure steady. Are we at temperature yet?
Employees only, Pastia. If you're expecting any packages, they'll bring them down to you.
Can't afford a failure on a critical pipe.
Brakes. Won't blow us up.
Done.
Pressure steady. Are we at temperature yet?
Maintaining temperature. Steady at the mark. to change out this barrel, see?
Down. 8, 9, 10.
Not to mention the parchment quality of the Gazette.